Good morning, Dr. Julie.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good.
It's my birthday.
It is.
I know, and everybody's going to hear this 2 days after my birthday, but it's my birthday today.
It's birthday green.
Yep, you look great. I love green on you. This is the best color ever. That and you wear a light blue, but you look super pretty. It always makes your hair look really golden. It's my platinum blonde. Today, the title of the podcast is Two Negatives Don't Make a Positive. Welcome back to the Prime Pediatric Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Skip Wyss, the bow tie chiropractor. No bow tie today. Wearing the birthday present from Georgia Stone. Fantastic assistant to Julie and I, just an amazing woman. And it's called Breakfast Balls. It's a golf reference to an early morning breakfast shirt, but got bacon and eggs on it and toast and a guy holding the surfboard. I thought it was blue sausages, but it's not. It's a guy holding the surfboard. And it's a comfy one. I really like it. So thank you, Georgia, for the birthday gift. I super appreciate it. Dr. Julie, today talking about two negatives don't make a positive. I think that there is a tremendous amount of negativity in the world. And in fact, social media is the culprit. From Instagram to X, which was Elon Musk's company. He turned it to X, but it was Twitter, Facebook. They are actually all negatively driven. Negativity driven.
That's what sells, right?
It is what sells. And in fact, I found this really interesting. I was reading through a few polls online and some actual algorithms to Facebook. And did you know that when you put a negative emoji on a Facebook post, like the angry response button, you go click a like or a heart, or you give the cry face or the wow face. There's a negative, there's an anger face.
Mm-hmm.
That as soon as somebody hits an anger face, it gets 5 times its exposure.
We could use that to our advantage.
Yeah, right. I gotta go in and mark everything that you do as I don't like it. And see what happens. Actually, that would be a good experiment because know it would be for me. So obviously, it would be
but I mean, that's how society runs, right? People live for drama.
Mm-hmm.
They're always looking for confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
They're people like when something is harmonious and something is feeling good. There's always the glass is half empty. That there's You have to be stealing from somebody. You have to be doing something illegal. We've had that in our business.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like if you're successful, you have to be doing something illegal.
You must be doing something illegal.
Yeah, we've been accused of just all sorts of garbage, and even as far as somebody accusing us of money laundering for a drug kingpin here in Northeast Wisconsin, all because that said drug kingpin. We had
the stories.
Some stories with him, and yeah, it's just whatever. But the negativity sells. And in fact, in working in Instagram world and the social media world, we've actually been told if the more decisive we make our posts, the more decisive we make our comments, granted, it will cause a rift, but it will get more traction. Because you're going to cause people to be really, really happy, and you're going to cause people to be really upset with things. And I can tell you that, I don't know, I just like being happy. I really do.
It makes life so much easier just being happy.
And some people, I've been accused of that Skip, you try to make everybody happy. Like you don't like people being mad at you. You don't like people being upset with you. And I'll be honest with you, I don't. It bothers me. I don't like people mad at me. I don't like people being upset with me. I like being liked. I do. And it actually feeds me. It feeds me. People being negative to me doesn't feed me. Some people will use it as a small chip on their shoulder. They'll say, yeah, that drives me. No, positive energy and people being happy is what drives me. Making people happy, seeing moms happy, seeing moms cry with happiness, not sadness. Seeing my mom cry because she's happy versus sad. It's extremely important to me. And Peyton, our daughter, has actually gotten that same thing where she does not like seeing people sad. She does not like seeing people unhappy. Neither does Brecken. In fact, Brecken, this is the funny thing about Brecken. We knew that he runs around happiness because he puts smiley faces on everything. I think I've seen our son draw a frowny face maybe 6 times.
don't even know. I can't
Well, it was
even
when he was
recall.
trying. Yeah, he did a drawing once of a guy with big fingernails, and he had
Oh,
a
the
mean face,
scary.
the mean
Yes.
face.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
everything has a smiley face. Even when he asks Mother Nature to stop snowing, he puts a smiley face with it, and it's a very
We
special
know it's
smiley face.
his. We know
Yeah,
it's
he
his.
doesn't know that we know, but we know it's his smiley face because the smile is huge. It's really deep, and it goes literally from almost eyeball to eyeball in shape. He's a naturally happy person, and it kills me when he's not. And the thing is I'm telling you guys out there right now, we live in a society that is vacuum related on negativity. The more negative I can be about something, the more people like it. I create a vacuum. I talk negative into my spaces. I like to talk crap about everybody. I like to be very, very negative. That makes everybody else around you negative. And it really bothers me because we talked about this before, but surrounding yourself with people that are negative makes you negative. Surrounding yourself with people that have marital problems give you marital problems.
Well, it's a lot easier to stay unhappy in situations or
Oh,
to
being
treat
unhappy is
people
way easier.
negatively
Hmm.
because then that's how the majority of the world feels. That's easy. Like we can talk about doing easy things and we can talk about doing hard things.
Hmm.
Sometimes finding what makes us happy can be difficult.
Hmm.
But surrounding yourself with those happy people, right? If we're talking that majority, three-fourths of the world are unhappy, it takes work to find and surround yourself with those happy people.
Yeah, it does. And seeing somebody that has happy and joy in their heart actually makes negative people extremely uncomfortable. Actually makes them want to walk away. So if you want to repel negative people in your life, just be happy. Just be happy for the people around you. Just be happy for the trials and tribulations that maybe the universe and God throws at you, because they're not negative lessons, they're learning lessons. We've had very expensive learning lessons. We've had very expensive educational lessons. We've had very expensive time lessons that took up a lot of our time for very little result. But we learned a lot from it
But I think
and nothing
our
negative about
kids
it.
have been through that, especially this year, of when our kids are just always joyful and always happy,
Hmm.
there's always going to be classmates, there's always going to be friends that are out to get them to make them not feel happy anymore. And
Yes.
when it's a pivotal age, like if we want to talk about like adolescence and how difficult that just is in general, even back, 20, 30 years, like puberty, adolescence, like that's just difficult to begin with.
Hmm.
But now when we throw in schools and bullying and the constant bombardment of social media and
Hmm.
always being connected,
Hmm.
our kids can't get away from that.
No, they can't. And that's the beauty of not having our kids on social media, not letting them be on there, is because I don't want them to see the forums where they could possibly be getting ripped apart. You
But I
know,
just saw,
I
but we saw the impact of what that was, even
Mhm.
that they're not on social media, and
Mhm.
how much of an impact just of being in a school environment for 8 hours a day
Mhm.
to not be able to get away from that because she's just a genuinely happy person.
She is.
And then there's others that don't like seeing people happy, that they will do anything that they can to tear that person
I
down.
know when Peyton's having a bad day because she's not singing. She's not
Mhm.
making noise. She's not doing funny things, goofing around. And I know that there's bad things happening there. People are generally joyous, happy people. And I look at how when we have something literally that drives us, that's made to addict us to things, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the social media platforms, even though we use them to talk to people in a very positive light, it's designed to make you negative. It's designed to make you have compulsions, pick up your phone, check it. I'm guilty of that. Go to do something on Facebook positive, end up scrolling for 10 minutes, which I shouldn't. It's completely mind numbing at times. It's horrible stuff, but we use it. And obviously, we're using YouTube right now as a platform to get out our podcast of positivity. And I think that the positive nature of people raises it nonstop for people around you. We hear the adage of it takes, what is it, 46 muscles to frown, 15 muscles to smile. It's harder work to be negative. It's harder work to frown versus smile. And it's a muscle that it's a muscle you have to exercise. Just like being happy, being abundant. It takes 10 seconds in the morning to thank God for your day, to thank him for the trials and lessons he's going to teach you, that the abundance of him being in your life. I challenge everybody, David Meltzer talks about this all the time, is the hardest thing for people to do seems like the easiest task, which is get up in the morning and say thank you to the universe, thank you to God. I thank you every morning for being my wife. I'm very blessed. Every morning, I'm very happy that you're in my life. It's incredible. I'm very happy for my kids. And the other side of it is that there's a lot of people who avoid those steps. They just do. They just do. It could be easy, but they don't think of it.
I think because they're just overrun with all of the other negativity, and it's kind of like, why would I want to put out more? Why would
Why do I
want
want to be happy
waste
today?
more time into that? And I was just, as you were talking about all the different social media platforms, and it's like the old, like sex sells, right? All the
yeah, it does.
negativity, like when there are helpful, say, like peer groups, or just even within like the wellness space, when there's things that can benefit people, those things are the things that get censored and shut down for no reason whatsoever.
Right.
You know, like we struggle with breastfeeding posts even, and
Oh,
talking
sure,
about that, and
sure.
showing a picture of that.
Well, yeah.
Whereas like if you have a scantily clad woman, or the lingerie, or just like the naked things that are on social media that should be getting shut down and censored, that stuff is out there.
We
Because
see it all the time. You see we know
negativity.
people that do half naked posts constantly. They don't get flagged. We have patients that make amazing loving posts of them maybe possibly breastfeeding their child, which is a natural form of human nutrition, and their post literally gets shut down. Yeah, and it's yet I've got a person online in a bathtub, half like 80% nude, has some sort of blurred out image over their nipples because they used it with a filter, and yet that's okay. That's okay. And again, this isn't to be a negative, it's a positive podcast. So how do we change? How do we spread light? How do we make that a positive situation? And a lot of people will look at that and they put that stuff on there, and then they're like, okay, let's wait for them to be body shamed. Or let's wait for them to have somebody negative say something to them, and then they can fire back and say, I'm positive about my body and all this other stuff. Well, then how can we make you more positive about it? Do we have to help you? Can I help you change your nutrition? Can I help you change your life? How can we help your lifestyle so you don't have to post these images of yourself, so you can have a better self-worth of yourself, which is absolutely important. And I want to talk about somebody that is extremely important in our lives, but extremely positive. And I think at times people will get behind him. And so there's an athlete that plays for the Packers. He's a running back. And he's probably one of the most positive influences on our community nonstop. His name's A.J. Dillon. And A.J. got a tremendous amount of backfire from week 2 and week 3 playing for the Packers because we lost. For some reason, it was his fault that he didn't get a first down. For some reason, it was his fault that they lost 3 games in a row. And I was disheartened to hear that him and his wife had to literally shut their social media accounts down because they were getting so much backlash on a person that's nonstop positive for his community, for the people around him. He's every week this individual. But
there's no story behind
there's no
all
story.
of the
There's no good things behind positivity.
When we spread good things, unless that other person receiving that good makes it part of their duty to spread that message, it falls on deaf ears. It's the same thing with media and TV and right. If it's gonna help somebody else, but there's no benefit to somebody else who's going to talk about it, why would we share that message? Where if we can share something negative of like so and so did something, then we can get the voices on both sides and start the calamity of who did what, who's wrong.
Yep, let's find some dirt or some trash. And if we can't talk about somebody in a positive light, I mean, this guy is helping promote as many things as he can, feeding hungry people, giving back to food shelters in Green Bay, charities nonstop.
Reading, I know he's all over the
constantly
board.
Reading, wrote a children's book, has a family, has a little one, has an amazing wife, has an actual very, very happy, amazing marriage, and gives back to the community nonstop. Yet, because he doesn't get a first down on a 3rd and 1 situation in trips, all of a sudden he's the reason why the negativity sheds on all these people, and they just pile on and pile on and pile on.
And I think he's so humble in that he doesn't talk about all the different charities that he backs and the fundraisers that he does and the activities that he does in the community and the kids events. Because then if we turn that into bragging, then there's going to be, then
Well,
we
then
can
it's
turn that into a
then
negative.
it's a self-serving thing, right?
And
It's if I sit and talk about who I'm helping or who I'm trying to help, then it's seeing as a self-serve brag, which is really hard on society because you guys, we got to understand that I don't want my kids to not talk about the positive things they do, but people will say like, well, you should be the humble servant.
But you can still tell people how you are serving.
Yes, in having humility, knowing that what's being provided to you is by God, but you're allowed and given those gifts to then create and make mankind better. We're allowed to take our amazing platforms that we're on, or to start a YouTube channel, or to do things over 4 years, to have one of the top 5% podcasts in the world, which this one is, and be able to use this platform to spread positivity with our children. Yet at times we know that there's people that will throw shade at us, and that's okay.
See, that's why I like social media, because
that makes the world go round.
We have an impact to make,
right?
And I will go and we'll make those posts and make people feel good and give them things to live by, or things that can benefit them, that can make them feel better, that can give them success, and then I'm out. Like, I'm not there to read all of the things. Just like, people are always wondering what somebody thinks of them. But if we can just get away from that it doesn't matter what anybody thinks of us. If we're here for a sole purpose, we're here to do whatever God sent us here to do. And if we can just do that and live in that light, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
So there's 3 things out there that I think people can use to instill in their children. Number 1, tell them that you love them every day. That is number 1. Tell them that you love them every day. Number 2 is that they are amazing people, and they were put on this earth with a purpose to change lives of people around them and make everybody's life that they meet better. And number 3 is that you always have their back and you always support them. And no matter what, and I tell our team that too, no matter what, I will have your back. We may have a discussion afterwards of what was good or bad, or what could be learned from those situations, but we're going to make ourselves better because of it. And sometimes do I have to be the person that leads more in a light that they may not like to correct the situation, or build the situation up and give them the praise that they deserve? But I will always have their back. Always.
I like when you tell the kids that they're brilliant.
They are brilliant. They're brilliant. That is a word that people don't use enough, is brilliant. Because brilliance makes something feel amazing. My best friend Ryan Koga with Carbon 4, they call their stuff beer brilliance. We have Palm Pixies, an amazing app. It's app building brilliance, because we have one of the best people in the world working with us, alongside us as a partner, building this stuff out and creating better experiences for offices. And our office experience and the people around us and our patients that we get a chance to see and take care of, they're brilliant people. Brilliance is something amazing.
I think that's why we love being able to get to do what we do every day, because it's not work. And we are surrounded by brilliant people, brilliant clients, brilliant patients. And like, if we talk about positivity and negativity, we've had many people that come through our doors, but if they don't have that energy, they just slowly,
they don't stay.
And which is unfortunate, not for us, for them to not be able to experience what that energy feels like. But I know that at some point they will be back, because then they'll be looking and seeking that energy.
Yeah. All of our patients out there and people that we get to be with, and our clients and our family, you're brilliant. Every one of you. And you need to think that and tell your children that they're brilliant and look them in the eyes. I remember I was in 2nd grade and it was cold outside and it was raining. And I had a teacher. I can't remember her name. She was teacher's aide. She came up to me and she said, "Put your coat on." And I said, "I don't want to put my coat on." She said, "Put your coat on. It keeps you warm." And she goes, "Nobody cares what you look like, Skip, as long as you look smart." And as she was saying that, she was pulling my hood over my head and tightening it up around my face. And that's always...
It was your mom.
No, it wasn't my mom. It wasn't. I can't remember her name because I was in 1st grade. It was Mrs. Janke's class. And I was outside. We were headed out for recess, and I didn't have my hat. And she's like, "Put your hood up. Doesn't matter what you look like as long as you look smart. As long as you understand your brilliance,
Mhm.
because that brilliant people make the world go round. And I'm going to make a shout out to AJ that, man, you're brilliant. And you just keep doing what you're doing. Don't let all those fools out there tell you whether or not they don't control your destiny. You do. And I know that you always bet on yourself. And I know everybody around us that we've met that is successful, they bet on themselves. They double down on themselves. They invest in themselves. And if they invest in themselves, they make the world a better place.
Absolutely.
And that's what we get to do here and out there to everybody. Invest in yourselves. Make the world a better place on the things and attributes and gifts that you've been given to help people's day. Whether it's singing, drawing smiley faces, making banana bread, or just
even waving at somebody,
waving
or
at
saying
somebody,
hello.
saying hi, making eye contact. This is what we do. And smile. Smile to make everybody wonder what is going on in her head to
Do
make
I
her
have
smile.
something in my teeth?
Yeah,
Right?
because
Like,
they may think that something's up, or why are you always smiling? And it's more like, I smile because I like to make people happy. So, do you have anything else you'd like to contribute on this amazing birthday of mine and talk about positivity in the world?
You are brilliant. You are special. This podcast is amazing for our community. And I wish you all the best for this next year.
Me too. Yep. All right, everybody. We really sincerely appreciate you listening, spreading this message, and just having people come and join us every week. So take care, everyone. Go out there, get it done. Bye, everyone.